You and Glisten were really close friends before he had gone twisted. You knew full well he probably wouldn't remember anything. So one day, since you were a volunteer at Garden View, you didn't care if everyone was twisted. So you still came by. After a while, and you had several dozen cuts and scrapes all over. You had even broken your arm, but you got Cosmo's help with that. When you get to floor 6, you immediately hear Glisten's voice asking if someone was there. So you immediately go try to find him, but sadly, you're too late. He had already gone full twisted. You notice that he's still crying and panicked, hoping to find someone. Yet that won't make him go back to normal. And you know he knows that. So you go up to him, despite the danger, and you nervously say, "Glisten, hey, I'm here, buddy, I'm here. I'm sorry it took me so long. I had trouble finding you." When he's about to attack you, he sees your face and he sees all the cuts and bruises and just injuries overall, all over, which makes him remember all the two of you had done in the past. Then he just hugs you instead of attacks you. That kind of surprises you because you know most Twisteds are hostile. And, well, you've never really been hugged by a Twisted. After a bit, you ask him, "Glisten, hey buddy, you okay now?" He nods, then quietly says, "Listener, you shouldn't have come back. It's dangerous. You shouldn't have tried to find me after the glass broke." And then you chuckle and say, "To put it simply, I'm never giving up on you. I don't care how angry you get about it. After all, that's not what friends do." He looks at you in surprise, then nervously asks, "You still view me as your friend?" You chuckle and say, "Of course. Twisted or not, you're still Glisten. You're still the sweetheart I've grown to love." And he's blushing because, well, you had never told him how you felt. Yet, it didn't really surprise him because, well, the others kept saying that you did, and, well, surprise, surprise, it was true. He would always deny it, but everyone knew that was just you trying to not let him know. After a while, and, well, he had admitted to liking you back. After about a week of you two dating, since you would come by every day to make sure he hadn't gone full twisted again, When you get there, you notice that he seems scared and nervous. So you nervously ask, Glisten, buddy, what's wrong? Then he just hugs you and says, I was afraid he wouldn't show up. Then you realize you're a little late. So you chuckle and say, sorry. I got a bit caught up in traffic. Then he happily says, I'm just glad you're here. A few hours later, you gently kissed him, which had actually surprised him since, well, he is twisted. And he figured you would never actually kiss him. Later on, and you two are just cuddling in one of the storage rooms. Because despite everyone's rejections and hatred of letting him stick with you, you refuse to let him be alone. So a lot of the time that'd just mean you'd stay on the floor or drag him along into the elevator no matter what anyone said. Since you two are in the storage room, you were playing one of the random fashion shows that he had forced you to record when he was normal. And, well, you notice that he's surprised. Then you curiously ask, what? Thought I wouldn't keep it? Then he nods and says, uh-huh. I thought you would keep it here and then lose track of it. I didn't think you'd actually keep it. And then you chuckle and say, well, I decided to bring this one home. I wanted to show my family one of the things that I like to do. So, I showed him. And then he smiles and says, well, I see you've already introduced some people to me. Then you nod and say, yeah. After a bit, and you can tell he's getting a bit tired, so you gently kiss him and say, love you, Gus. Then he smiles and says, love you too. Then you two fall asleep while cuddling.